Thank you, Ali and Michelle, and welcome to Cam in the Moment. My name is Camden, and here are this week's biggest moments coming up. All right, so welcome to the news segment on Coastal Conservative News. I'm Camden, and just going to be honest real quick, I'm not scripted at all. I kind of just go off of what I believe. It's the truth, and whatever, if someone tells me to say something, that's not what I'm doing here. This is going to be completely authentic with you guys. So welcome to the new segment, and we're just going to be going over the biggest moments of the week and what I really want to talk about. And the first one that we're doing here is just perfect to start this show because this week there was a revival of a night in Tampa. This organization called Unite Us, or Unite US, I think it's like a double meaning there, actually led a student-led organization, led a revival of a worship night in the USF Arena in Tampa, where they reported on their social media page 7,000 college students with close to 2,000 salvations and over 300 baptisms. It's amazing. And this it's like a revival, I feel like, fueled, of course, Jesus gets all the glory, but fueled by Charlie Kirk's assassination, because a lot of young people like me who really looked up to Charlie didn't just look at his faith. We looked at didn't just look at his politics. We looked at his faith. And it really means a lot when something like this is happening and God uses it for good. You know, he takes what the enemy meant for evil and turns it for good. So we have a quote from a student attendee that says, "I denounce suicidal ideation, I denounce witchcraft, and I denounce satanic worship in Jesus' name." That all came from this event, a revival that happened. And we have a volunteer from the organization, Unite Us, Tommy Zenna, who's joining us now. Tommy Zenna, thank you for joining the show today. Tell us about this revival event that went down in Tampa last week. What did you think? What was the atmosphere like? What was the overall event like?
Of course, of course. Well, first off, Camden, and everyone over at CCN, thank you for having me on and allowing me just to kind of share my experience from last week. But it was crazy. I mean, everything from like leading up to it to when it actually went down. The best way that I can put it was God ordained.
Mm,
God made it happen, and in ways that I didn't think were even possible. I mean, seeing about 7,000 people show up was really cool, and the whole time I was just speechless. So it was
yeah,
truly a
that's
great event
beautiful.
that I wasn't didn't even know could happen on a college campus.
Yeah, and so you're a volunteer for the organization at that event. So what do they do? I know there's a lot of events like this that go around the world or around the country right now. So tell us
Yeah.
a little bit about the mission of this organization.
Yeah, so Unite's going school to school. USF was its 19th, and they just did Tennessee this past Tuesday, which was their 20th school. It's the same heart behind everything. They just are trying to bring a revival with Gen Z, with college kids. You know, there's a need for it.
Yeah.
The not owner, but the lady who runs it all, Tanya Pruitt, she was really involved with girls on the Auburn's campus, and she heard a cry and a need for more of God on college campuses. So she started up with just just like a little prayer, a little um place where girls come together, do like a little Bible study, and it ended up growing. And so now we're just trying to reach the hearts of lost college students around the US.
Wow, that's amazing. And yeah, it's definitely a place where it's needed right now. I feel like there's so many things going on in the world. What's the trend you've been seeing with young people at these events and the one you attended with the students?
Yeah, so from what I've seen, people are not really open to it, but when they get there, it's a great place for them to become vulnerable. I feel like people our age and in our culture, it's not normal for people to either be vulnerable or show kind of that side of them, especially in
Mm,
college. Definitely feel like I'm in the minority sometimes. So I feel like it's a great experience just for people to be able to open up and truly express how they feel.
yeah. So let me ask you one more question before we let you go. Where do you think this goes from here? Do you think they will continue to go on to all these college campuses? And does the revival multiply? Does it keep going out?
I sure hope it does, but I think it's really evident that God is working. And so if God is behind all of this, then I see it just growing exponentially. They've already grown like crazy. So yeah, I mean, my hope is to see it at every single college campus in this country. Again, I'm also blessed to be a part of it and help serve it. So like I said, God's doing great things. So there's no limits to what God can do in this country. So there's definitely a revival happening in Gen Z, and God's working. It's cool.
Amen. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us, Tommy. We'll hope
Of
to talk
course.
to you again soon.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
All right, in other news, University of South Florida's St. Petersburg campus held a Turning Point chapter event where there was tabling and talking with students who had all sorts of beliefs. It wasn't like only conservatives can come up. It was completely open to the public. Just talking about the conservative movement and what Charlie left behind. And I was on site as a member of my local Turning Point chapter. And for all the young people watching right now, I encourage you to get involved. And if there's not a chapter, start one. Like, there's no excuse anymore. It's either get involved or start a chapter, because we need people to speak up and be able to have dialogue without having, getting shot for it like Charlie. We got to really bring it back to free speech and talking to each other. But we actually engaged with students of all kinds of beliefs, and one conversation on DEI. Watch.
In corporate America, they have all this quota. They need to hire X amount of women, X amount of gay people, X amount of black people, X amount of immigrants. And they don't care about the qualifications. So that's not fair. So it should be based on merit, regardless who you are, where you came from, how you look, who you love, who you build your life with. So that's your life, In the workplace, it should be based on qualifications.
What about the aspects of DEI that protects people who already have a job? Like, DEI also isn't just about the hiring process, it's also about...
Well, DEI policies aren't taking away, like, Title IX, like, rights, like, you can't be discriminated because of your color, race, gender. So that's
But
not taking that away.
So there you see, there's actual real dialogue going on these college campuses now, thanks to what Charlie started, and really local impact. We're seeing people from college campuses now in our area speak up about stuff. And that's where it really all starts. It starts with us, right where we're at, in our local places. And yeah, we might not agree all the time, but this right there, that clip shows what we need to start doing. And another debate, a liberal student came up to us, and I was there, and they were a socialist, they said, but they couldn't explain what socialism was. So really, education, on the college campuses is not really what the standard should be, and that's why we're out there, to tell people really what's going on, not just what the professors tell them. If you don't know what socialism is, how can you be a socialist? It doesn't make sense. But that's kind of why we were there. And the best part of all of this stuff that's going on in college campuses is there's people that are coming to see real light. Like, they're not just there, and there's a lot of miserable people, let me tell you, in St. Petersburg. It's a lot of people that really don't know their own identity. But when you have people with their own ideas come out and speak, we had a really poetic image of the people that came out. One girl with purple hair, one girl with green hair, just all sorts of people where the stereotypical image of the other side, right? We had them speaking to us. And so to get that kind of outreach is really, really special. And so that's what's going on college campuses, and there's a revival of young people going on. But we're going to end with something very wholesome. I had to bring this up because it was just passed this week. A new law, Trooper's Law, came out, which prohibits anybody, and it actually makes it a felony for anybody in the state of Florida to leave a pet behind in a hurricane. So I always want to end these episodes with a wholesome moment, and that's one of the best laws, no matter which side of the political spectrum you're on, you can agree on. We should not leave pets anywhere deserted like that. And so this dog, Trooper, was left behind and abandoned, chained up in Hurricane Milton. And now, because it was rescued, thankfully, but now, because of that, we signed a law in Florida making it a felony, which is up to 5 years in prison for that kind of thing. So we're really going to keep pushing for the good, even when we don't get to agree. Like, that's one thing. It doesn't matter what you think. Perfect. All right, guys, well, that's it for our time here on the first segment of Cam in the Moment. Let me know your thoughts and what you think about these stories and what's going on in the world right now, especially young people like me. Let me know, and you can find me on social media at Camden Trey B. Talk to you soon. Back to you guys, Ali and Michelle.